Okay, Namaskaram, and welcome to this class in which we will try to learn a padigam from tiruvAimozhi. The padigam is called Anchiraiya madanArAi. It's composed by Sri nammAzhvAr, and it is in the so-called first Mudal Pattu. So there's one here refers to Mudal Pattu, and the fourth padigam within it. That fourth padigam is also known as fourth tiruvAimozhi. It's in a way that terminology is confusing because the overall Prabandham is also called tiruvAimozhi. So I will refer to it as just padigam. So the first Mudal Pattu, நான்காவது padigam, it's called anchiraiya madanArAi, and that's the one that we will try to learn. And so we will start it today. We will learn the introduction to it, and we will probably learn one taniyan specific to tiruvAimozhi. And then we will take 3 more meetings after today, to complete our learning of this particular padigam. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the slide number 9 because we have already said the Pudu Taniyans. Okay, so here we are. This slide is about an introduction to the particular padigam that we are going to be learning. So the author is Sri nammAzhvAr. And nammAzhvAr is very special. In fact, he's so special that he's considered the head of the Arvars. Arvarகளில் இவர்தான் தலைவர் என்று சொல்வார்கள். And he has composed 4 Prabandhams. And not surprisingly, there are 4 Vedas. There are 4 Prabandhams of nammAzhvAr. And so you won't be surprised to know that these 4 Prabandhams are kind of in a one-to-one relationship with the 4 Vedas. So each of these Prabandhams is considered as the saram or the essence of one of those Vedas. And the particular Prabandham that we are going to learn, tiruvAimozhi, is a Samaveda saram. That is, it's the essence of Samaveda. Okay, so that's what it's considered to be. So it's very important. And in fact, it's probably the most revered Prabandham in all of Nalayira Divya Prabandham. If Tirupavai is the most popular Prabandham, then tiruvAimozhi is the most revered Prabandham. Now, it is in the so-called Antadi form. Antadi is it refers to the particular grammar that it follows. Essentially, what it means is that the antam of each verse and the adi of the next verse, that is the end of each verse, and the beginning of the next verse, they use the same word. Okay, so that end could be the last aksharam, or the last word, or the last phrase. So the last word or aksharam or phrase of one pasuram will be used as the beginning of the next pasuram as well. So it is in the Antadi style, even though the title doesn't say so. The title is tiruvAimozhi, but so normally the Antadi the title itself will say that. For example, Mudal Tiruvantadi, Rentam Tiruvantadi, Mundram Tiruvantadi, etc. But this one doesn't say that it's an Antadi, but it is an Antadi. And it is the largest Prabandham in all of Nalayira Divya Prabandham. It has more than 1100 pasurams in it. So it really is a magnum opus. It's a very weighty Prabandham. And because it has such a large number of pasurams, there's a kind of a hierarchy that is divided into 10 pattus, so 10 sections. Each one is called a pattu. And that each section has 10 padigams in it. And each padigam has about 11 pasurams in it. So you can see that they add up to 1100, but then there are 2 padigams which will contain some extra verses as well. So anyway, so when we refer to a particular padigam, we will say that it is in this pattu, and it is the first padigam or the second padigam or third padigam, etc. So to refer to a padigam, we need 2 numbers. To refer to a pasuram, we need 3 numbers, which pattu, which padigam, and how many pasuram within that padigam. So anchiraiya, which is 1.4, Mudal Pattu, நான்காவது padigam, is in something called nayika bhavam. Okay, so nayika is a Sanskrit word which means what is in Tamil known as nayaki, talaivi. So it's a female lover. So she is called nayika in Sanskrit, nayaki in Tamil. So in this particular padigam, nammAzhvAr thinks of himself, imagines himself to be a female lover who has fallen in love with Emperor. Remember that in the Hindu religion, the only Purusha is the Paramatma. The only Purusha is Emperuman, and all the Jivatmas are considered as female. So you might say that this is more or less an implementation of that idea. So in this case, he really imagines himself to be a female lover, and that his lover being her lover, because I have to say her now, even though it is nammAzhvAr, so I have to say it is her. Her lover is Emperuman. So it is a Naika Bhavam. So in all the Pasurams, she will refer to herself as a female, and she will refer to her lover being Emperuman. And essentially, this Padigam is about sending various messengers, because she is separated from her lover. And of course, she feels the pangs, the anguish of separation. And this whole Padigam is about sending a message to Emperuman, saying, you shouldn't really be abandoning me like this, so you should come and join me, etc. Okay. Now, when the Arvar, when Sri nammAzhvAr imagines himself to be a Nayaki, then that Arvar is called Parankusha Nayaki. Okay, so because nammAzhvAr himself is called Parankusha, when he's in the Nayaki Bhavam, he is called Parankusha Nayaki. So the Arvar and Nayika Bhavam. So I use Nayika Bhavam and Nayaki Bhavam interchangeably. So when he is in that Bhavam, he will be called Parankusha Nayaki. Similarly, tiruvAimozhi, he will be, when he is in Nayaki Bhavam, he will be called Parakala Nayaki, for example. Anyway, so the nammAzhvAr in tiruvAimozhi, there are, nammAzhvAr has composed 27 padigams that are in the Nayika Bhavam. Remember that each padigam has 11 pasurams. So that's a lot of pasurams in which he imagines himself to be a female lover, 27 times 11 roughly. Now in 17 of those padigams, remember a padigam is roughly 10, in this case 11 pasurams. So when we say that she is in the Nayika Bhavam, so the padigam could be this Parankusha Nayaki talking by herself and talking about how she misses Emperuman, etc. Or it could be the Parankusha Nayaki's mother. It could be written as if Parankusha Nayaki's mother is talking, and she will talk about how her daughter is afflicted with this love and how she is worried about her condition, etc. Or it could be in the form of a Sakhi, that is a Tori or a friend of Parankusha Nayaki, talking about this Parankusha Nayaki, how deeply in love she is with Emperuman, etc. So there are 17 in that 17 padigams in which Parankusha Nayaki itself is talking about it in the first person, 7 in which her mother is talking about her anguish, 3 in which her Tori or friend is talking about her anguish. And out of these, 4 of those padigams are Sandesham. Sandesham means sending a message, like Megha Sandesham, etc., Hamsa Sandesham, etc. Sandesham is sending a message to this particular padigam, and there are 3 other padigams that are in the Sandesham format. And other Arvars who use the Nayika Bhavam, they are tiruvAimozhi Arvar. When he does that, he will be called Parakala Nayaki. And Sri Andal does that. And of course, it comes more naturally to Sri Andal because she is a female herself. And therefore, it was in some sense easier for her. And Kulashekara Nayaki. Kulashekara Arvar also has one padigam in which he imagines himself to be a Gopika and talks about his lover, namely Krishna, so her lover. And in that case, we will refer to Kulashekara Arvar as Kulashekara Nayaki. Now, it is kind of unique to Hinduism that bhakti is portrayed in Sringara Rasam. Sringara Rasam is the rasam of romance, the love between a male lover and a female lover in flesh and blood. Okay, so it's kind of both interesting, amusing, and extremely unique, extremely special in Hinduism that bhakti is portrayed as a Sringara Rasam. And in a way, you can think of it as Jivatma's haunting cry for union with Paramatma. So the Paramatma is Emperuman, and Jivatma, which has been separated from this Paramatma for eons. Remember that, before us, a lot of time has passed by already, and we have probably gone through millions of births and deaths, because this is not our first birth by any means. So certainly our Jivatma has been separated from the Paramatma in Paramapadam by almost eternity, for almost eternity. And when a child is separated from its mother or father, you can imagine how much that child will miss the mother, even if it's been separated by only a day or a few days. So in that sense, you can imagine how much anguish the Jivatma must be feeling or should be feeling for being separated from the Paramatma for such a long time. Okay, so anyway, so that is the idea of this particular padigam. So you can hear, you can feel the Jivatma's haunting cry for union with the Paramatma. In fact, you can see that in Tiruvāimozhi's very first pasuram, he says, "Vadinēn, vadi varundinēn manattal, perum tuyar idumbayil pirande." So perum tuyar, in this great suffering, idumbayil pirande. I've been born into this samsara sagaram, which has so much sufferings in it. So you can see that in itself expresses his anguish, and that, of course, that was not in the Nayaki Bhavam, but I'm just making the general point that Jivatma, having been separated from the Paramatma for almost eternity, will feel that anguish, and you will see that anguish coming through very clearly in this padigam. And this idea of thinking of oneself as a Nayaki and expressing one's bhakti as love for Emperuman, I would say that it is a revolution, because it is something very unique. You probably won't see that in other religions. And the Alvars made a revolution by bringing this so-called agatturai to spiritual domain. In Tamils, there is, for example, Tamil literature, there is something called Ahananuru and Purananuru. The Ahananuru talks about, the kind of intimate romance between Talaivan and Talaivi, a Nayakan and a Nayaki. And then Purananuru talks about other things, right? So that Agatturai previously was not part of our prayers, our relationship with Emperuman. However, the Alvars, by bringing about this revolution of imagining themselves to be the Nayakis, created the revolution. They brought Agatturai to spiritual domain. Okay, that romantic relationship to spiritual domain. Let me give you an example. If you've heard of Tirukkural, Tirukkural has about 1,330 verses in it, and about 250 of them are in that so-called Kamattuppal, which is in the Agatturai. There is Arattuppal, Porutpal, and Kamattuppal. The section called Kamattuppal itself, which is Agatturai, talks about the romance between the Talaivan and the Talaivi, a female lover and a male lover. That itself has got 250 kurals in it, or verses in it. So here's one example. So the Talaivi says, "Sellamai undel yanakkurai, matrunin valvaravu வாழ்வார்க்குரை." So the Talaivi says to the Talaivan, that is the female lover says to the male lover. So she says, "Sellamai undel yanakkurai." If you're going to tell me that you're not going to leave me and go earn money and etc. So if you're going to tell me that you're not going to leave me, then tell it to me. Sellamai undel, நீ போக மாட்டாய் என்பது உண்மையானால் அதை எனக்கு உரை, அதை என்னிடம் சொல்லு. If you're not going, tell me that information. However, matru means however. Nin valvaravu, that is, if you're going to tell me that you're going to go away for some time, even if it is to make money and then come back, if you're going to tell me that kind of a message, give me that kind of a message that you're going to be separated from me even for a short time, then don't tell me. Instead, tell it to வாழ்வார்க்குரை. Tell it to the people who will be alive when you come back. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that heartrending? Because in just 1 3/4 of a line, that verse conveys that message that the Talaivi cannot live even for a moment without the Talaivan, without that male lover. Sellamai undel yanakkurai. If you're not going, tell it to me. Matrunin valvaravu, that is, if you're going to go away even for a short time, don't tell it to me, tell it to the people who will be alive when you come back. Okay, in other words, I'm not going to be there when you come back. Okay, so that's very beautiful. Now, so that's the kind of sentiments that you will see in these Agatturai padigams that are used in Nalayara Divya Prabandham as well. Here's another example in Nachiyar Tirumozhi. Nati refers to Nachiyar Tirumuri of Sri Andar in 10.3. So she look at how she talks about Emperuman. She says, Naniliyenukke, that is the shameless woman, referring to herself. This Pavien Tondri, ever since the sinner was born, again she is referring to herself. Pambanayarkum, Pambai Anayaha Konda Emperumanukum, that is the one who has the serpent as his bed. Tam Pambuvol, like his serpent. Remember that serpents or snakes are famous for having two tongues, double-tongued. That's what she's saying. Tam Pambuvol, Navum Irandu Ulavaitte. So my Emperuman, like that, he uses the snake as his bed. And ever since this shameless woman was born, this sinner was born, this Pambana, this one who has the snake as his bed, has also developed two tongues. So isn't that very beautiful? So she says, almost disparagingly, this Emperuman doesn't say the same thing. He says one thing once, and then he says another thing at a later time. So he says, I will not leave you. And then later he says, I'll come and see you today. But then he doesn't come. But then later when you ask him, he'll say, oh no, I'll come tomorrow, etc. So every time he says something different. And so when people say different things at different times, we say that they have multiple tongues. They are two-tongued. And Sri Andal says in Nachiyar Tirumuri that Emperuman is similarly two-tongued with her. And it is it's not very surprising, because after all, he has the snake as his bed. Isn't it amusing? Isn't it interesting that we, as a Bhagavata, are allowed to say something so disparaging about Emperuman? How are we allowed to do that? Okay, so let me give you one more example before we explain it. This is from Ashtapadi number 17, and here Radha says, Yahi Madhava, go away Madhava. Yahi Keshava, go away Keshava. Krishna is trying to come to her, and she says, nothing doing, I don't want you because I've seen you fooling around with other women. Yahi Madhava, go away Madhava. Yahi Keshava, go away. Ma Vada Kaitava Vadam. Ma, do not, Vada, tell Kaitava, fake Vadam stories. Do not tell fake stories. Do not tell fake dialogue. So she has had it with Krishna, and she says, go away, because I've heard these fake stories, these excuses that you have made up. I've seen you with other women, etc. Now, why is that allowed? Okay, of course, it's because this is pranaya rosham. Even though it seems to be anger, rosham means anger. Even though it seems to be anger, it's anger born out of love. Pranaya means love. Pranaya rosham means anger born out of love. So this anger is allowed because it is anger that comes out of love. It's not anger that comes out of hatred. It is anger that comes out of love. A few days ago, we had this Panguni Uttaram, and every Panguni Uttaram in Sri Rangam, they celebrate this Mattayadi festival. So the Mattayadi is where there is a Pranaya Rosham or Pranaya Kalaham between Namperumal, the Utsavar at Sri Rangam, and Sri Ranganachiyar, the Tayar. So there is that Mattayadi Utsavam, which also signifies that Pranaya Rosham. So we are not only, we don't mind, it's not only that we don't mind creating pasurams that represent Pranaya Rosham, our anger with Emperuman, of course, Poikobam, of course, fake anger, but we also want Emperuman, Namperumal and Ranganachiyar to have that Pranaya Kalaham as well, that Pranaya Rosham as well, because that provides entertainment for us, okay? But anyway, so again, the only reason that it's allowed is that it's born of love. So the next time your spouse is angry with you, just think of it as anger born out of love. You will deal with it much better, okay? And this padigam is heart-rending viraha tapam. Viraha means separation. Tapam means pain or heat. So the heat or the pain of separation. And here the Parankushanayaki uses birds, breeze, even her own mind as a messenger. And the interpreters, the Vyakhyanakartas, say that the implied messenger is really Acharyan, with whose wings are Jnanam and Anushtanam. So even though Parankushanayaki seems to be sending birds as her messengers, she's really sending the Acharyan as a messenger. And when we look at the Pranava Mantram, it has three parts to it, the Akaram, the Ukaram, and the Makaram. The akaram is said to refer to Emperuman, the Paramatma. The makaram is said to refer to the Jivatma as, and the ukaram, some acharyas would say that the ukaram really represents a bridge between the Paramatma and the Jivatma, and some they would say that that bridge is the Acharyan. And so here also the Arvar is using that Acharyan indirectly as a messenger to send a message to Emperuman. Okay. Now, this Naika Bhavam and its rationale. So it turns out that if you look at Ramayanam, for example, in Ramayanam, Sri Rama is supposed to be extremely handsome. In fact, there's one place where Vishwamitra, who has taken Rama and Lakshmana to the forest with him so that they can fight with the Rakshasas and protect his yajnas. So he is describing Tataka to Sri Rama. And at that point, he says something very interesting. Now, this is Vishwamitra, a sannyasi talking, mind you. And what he says is, "O Rama, if men look at you, O Rama, they will desire womanhood, oh, such handsome-shouldered one." So he says, "Oh, Rama, you have such handsome shoulders. If men were to look at you, they will immediately say, oh my goodness, I wish I were a woman. So that I could enjoy the beauty of Emperuman. I could embrace him, etc." Okay? So he says, "Kannil kaanbarel, avargal unnai kannal kaanbargal aanal, aadavar, those men, penmayai avavum tolinai." Penmayai, womanhood, avavum, ava means desire, avavum means desiring, tolinai, and you have such shoulders, you have such toldhar. Okay? I think you can, the part around it, you can read it for yourself. He's kind of trying to explain Tataka, but when he's addressing Sri Rama, he says, even men, when they look at you, they will be so enamored by your beauty, your handsomeness, that they would wish that they were born as a woman. And in fact, according to some of our mythology, all the rishis in the forest who looked at Sri Rama and wished they were women were actually born as gopikas in the Dwapara Yuga, and they had this dance with Sri Krishna. Okay, so to some extent their wishes came true. Even Valmiki says Pumsam Drishti Chitta Apaharinam. Pumsam means men's, Drishti means looks, their sights, their looks, and Chitta their mind. Apaharinam, avatrai apaharipavan. So Sri Rama ஆண்களுடைய பார்வையையும் அவர்களுடைய புத்தியையும் அபகரித்தான். So even the men that did that, that's how beautiful Sri Rama was. And even in Swami Desikan, in something in Brahmidopanishad Tatpari Ratnavali, which is about tiruvAimozhi. So and he wrote a kind of an essence of it in Sanskrit. It's called Brahmidopanishad. Brahmidopanishad means Dravida Upanishad. That's another name for tiruvAimozhi. Tatparya, its inner meaning. Ratnavali, it's a gem necklace. So there he has a slokam where he says, just as Draupadi's exquisite beauty, witnessed during her bath, intoxicated the minds of all the ladies attending on her, and led them to wish they could enjoy her as men. The deep bhakti that Swami nammAzhvAr had for Sriman Narayanan transformed into Sringara Bhavam and led him to send messengers to her Lord in the role of Parankusa Nayaki to be united with him. Okay, and then one final example, there is something called Ramanuja Nutrantadi, which is part of the Nalayara Divya Prabandham. It is in praise of Bhagavat Ramanuja. It's written by Tiruvarangat Tamudanar. And there he says that kamam, that is the lust or love, is a genuine thing to desire for. That is, we talk about the four purusharthas. So artha is what we desire for, object of desire. So people talk about the four purusharthas. In Tamil, they call them aram, porul, inbam, and vidu. In Sanskrit, they call them dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So dharma is virtuous living, artha is wealth, kama is love, desire, and moksha is vidu or liberation. So what he says in this particular pasuram of Ramanuja Nutrantadi, he says that of those four things, so the three things, so he says here, so there is freedom for birth, which is liberation, acquisition of wealth. So this is dharma, acquisition of wealth, artha, sorry, this is moksha. Freedom from birth is moksha. So moksha, acquisition of wealth, which is artha, principal living dharma, fulfillment of desire, which is kama. These are 4 purusharthas, they say. That is, the great men say that there are 4 purusharthas. And of these 4, desire, the kamam, is to be reserved exclusively for attaining Krishna. So here the Tiruvarangat Amudanar says, we should not dismiss kamam, because kamam, as I am describing here, is not the lust that you have for another human being, but this is a lust for Krishna. This desire, that kamam, desire, is to be reserved exclusively for attaining Sri Krishna. And all the other 3 the purusharthas, namely the dharma, artha, and moksha, should be subservient to this. And who said that? So said Bhagavat Ramanujar, who is similar in glory to Vamana on this earth. So it says that the kama, or the kama artham, that kamam, that is a legitimate thing to aspire for. Just make sure that the kamam that you are talking about is not that lust that you have for another human being, but it is a desire that you have for Krishna. Okay, so Chemanal Vidum Purulum Dharmamum Siriyanar Kamamum Endrivai Nangenver. People say that there are 4 kinds of Purusharthas. Nanginam of these 4, Kandanakke Avadu Kamam. Kamam should be reserved exclusively for Sri Krishna. Aram Purul Vidu Ellam Idarke. So the other 3 things are exclusively subservient to this Kamam. Endru Uraitan. Who's who? Uraitan, who said so? Ramanujan, who is that Vamana Chilan, who is as good as Vamana on this earth. Okay, so let me quickly, if you bear with me, I'll just introduce one taniyan and then call it a day. Okay, so this is tiruvAimozhi taniyan. There are 6 tiruvAimozhi taniyans. We'll just study one today. And it says, the meaning is very simple. This talks about tiruvAimozhi. It's a nectar for the bhaktas. Bhakta Amrutam. So Bhaktargalukku Amrutam, it's a nectar for the bhaktas. Vishwa Jana. Vishwa means the universe. Jana means the people of this universe. Anumodanam, it provides bliss. Anumodanam means causing pleasure. So Vishwa Jana Anumodanam. Again, the meaning of those Sanskrit words are given here. And again, the color, the words that are marked in this particular color, those are the suggested words for you to learn. So my goal is that if you learn 2 words from each Sanskrit verse you go through, your vocabulary will be very good, a few years from now. Vishwajana Anumodanam. So it provides bliss for all the people of this universe. Sarvarthadam. So it bestows all the purusharthas, namely the dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. And Sri Shatakopa Vangmayam. Sri Shatakopa is another name for nammAzhvAr. Sri Shatakopa Vangmayam. So that Vangmayam is the words that he said is literary work. That is tiruvAimozhi is Sri Shatakopa's literary work. And it talks about this being equal to Samaveda. How does it do that? It says Sahasra Shako Upanishad. Upanishad Samagamam. So it says it's a scripture. Agamam means scripture. Sama means it's equal. It's equal to the 1,000 branch. Sahasra Shako. So that the Sahasra Shaka, that refers to the 1,000 branch. That's really another word for the Samaveda, Sahasra Shaka Upanishad. So he says the scripture is equal to the 1,000 branch Samaveda and to all the Upanishads. That's how glorious this tiruvAimozhi is. Sahasra Shaka Upanishads Samagamam. Namamyaham Dravida Veda Sagaram. Namami, I bow to Aham, that is I, Aham is I, Namami, I bow to Dravida Veda, Tamil Veda Sagaram, this ocean of Tamil Veda. Tamil Veda in general refers to all the Nalayana Divya Prabandhams, but in particular it refers to tiruvAimozhi. So that's how great tiruvAimozhi is. I bow to this ocean, this Tamil Vedam. Okay, so let me chant it again. I'll chant it once. The second time you chant it along with me. Okay. Bhaktam Rudham Vishwajananamodanam. Bhaktam Rudham Vishwajananamodanam. Sarvarthadam Shri Shatakopa Vangmayam. Sarvarthadam Shri Shatakopa Vangmayam. Sahasrashakopanishad Samagamam. Sahasrashakopanishad Samagamam. Namamyaham Dravida Veda Sagaram. Namamyaham Dravida Veda Sagaram. Okay, so I'll play the audio next week. So we will do that at the beginning of next class. So I would like to finish off by reciting the Charama Slokam. Let me go to the Charama Slokam. Okay, you can recite, chant it along with me. Sarvadharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam raja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma suchah. Mangalam koshalendraya mahaniya gunabdhaye. Chakravarti tanujaya sarvabhaumaya mangalam. Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu. I'm going to turn off the recording. Please stay on the line.